Hi guys, my name is Gail Gramlich and welcome to the third episode of God Doesn't Want Me to Bartend Anymore. Today I'm feeling blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed because I don't work at this next bar that I got, the bar job that I got after I quit the greatest bar I ever worked at ever. And when I say that, I really mean, like, I love the bar and the bar before that too. I love those bars. It was a great time. But I really need to be doing this creative stuff. So that's why I'm happy that I stopped that, because I was working there. I wasn't even working there that much, but I have that and my vinyl business, and then I have cats and I have to clean and work out and just be a girl and go out. There's not enough time to do everything. So something's got to give. So, but you need to make money, right? You need a little side hustle. So in my mind, I was like, I just need to work like 20 hours a week, or like 2 shifts, 16 hours, like something, just to, have that play money, that extra play money. So, or just stop buying all the products that I like to buy, right? I should just do that. But, and then just work on this until I make that money doing this, right? That takes some time. So, working a couple of bar shifts was the goal. And this next bar that I got was awful. And it was a server bartender job. It was a burger place. And I'm just going to go through the bullet points. I don't need to go that much into it because I forget. It was in January. And it was right after the fires too. So it was dead and everybody was sad and freaking out, and California was on fire. It was like just terrible around here. So I get this job, and here's the thing. Okay, before I got the job, I had quit drinking for 2.5 months, from September 26th till like December 10th. And I was really proud of myself. I was feeling really good. I felt like I'm never going to bartend again, or bartend. There's the Freudian slip. Never bartending again. I was like, I'm never going to drink again. But then I went on vacation with my family, and I don't know if you guys know what that's like to go on vacation with your family. It's great, but it's also like you're going on vacation with your family. So drinking has to happen. I mean, it doesn't have to happen. You can have fun without drinking, but I wasn't going to attempt it. So I started to not start drinking again, but I was like, I'm going to drink for this vacation and have fun, right? And I did. I had a really great time. And it also made me want to bartend again. That was the thing too. It was just like, I want to bartend. I miss cocktails. I miss making cocktails. So when I got back, sent out application, went on interviews, application. Why isn't anybody hiring me? Then I finally got hired by a burger place. And I'll say this, the POS system toast sucks, okay? I just don't like it. I can deal with it. I just don't like it. Especially if you have a lot going on at a place. Not only were we, taking tables, working at the bar, we were also doing to-go orders as well. To-go orders and some other type of order. Was it to-go orders? And Grubhub orders and stuff like that. So it was just a lot. And we were responsible for all of it. So that's fine. It was just a lot. It was a lot to learn, because on the Toast POS system, it was just kind of like drag down, sides, and then sides, drop downs for those. You go this way, that way. And then there's other things. So I can't explain. It was a drop down. And I'm blind, and it's tiny little print. And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't see. And I'm so old. I hate it. But I'm thinking about my mother's best friend, Barbara Cassiano, and how she's, 70 and still serving. Like, well, if she can do it, I can do it. So, and I have served before. I worked at Italian restaurant, Villa Capri in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and that was great. And I worked at Hennessy's in Manhattan Beach when I first moved out here. But I hadn't done that. I haven't done any food stuff since. It was about 20 years ago, maybe even more than 20 years ago. So, yeah, it's been a minute since I dealt with food, because I've just worked in all kinds of bars. And so this place was a nightmare, and I'm going to tell you more why. Also is a POS system that I didn't like. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's easy. It just, at the time when I was training, our state was on fire, so people weren't going out. It was also right after Christmas. So I had no one to train on. Like, it was like, I was so excited to like learn the system and figure it out, but like nobody was coming in. So I was like, dang. When I interviewed for the place, you know, the reason why I took the job was because I saw how busy it was. And she even said, the girl that hired me, she was like, you see how we really need people. And I like that desperate thing, you know, just like Howard Stern in Private Parts. He's like, they were desperate for me. And that's something I like. Me too. Like, I like a place that needs people. That way, you know, you can stay there if you do well, right? So I was really wanting this job because I knew they needed people. And so she basically put me on like the next day to train. And again, the POS system was horrible. And then it wasn't just that. It was some of the girls were just nasty. You know, there was this one girl, she was from the UK. And when I first heard her accent, I don't know, I just didn't hear it right. I was like, are you from the South? And she's like, no, I'm from the UK. You know, and she just didn't sound like, it didn't sound like, you know, English. It sounded like she was Hispanic and also lived in the UK. It was very confusing, but she had a bunch of stuff in her face. You know, we all have done stuff to our faces when you get older, but this girl just had a lot of stuff in her face, you know, a lot of work done and just like, you know, one of those. And basically what the stuff did to her face just made her like resting bitch face, you know? You ever seen one of those? RBF? Resting bitch face? RBF. She had a true RBF. So, and the thing about this RBF chick was I tried to make eye contact with her the first day I was there, because that's what you do. You kind of like, hi, you know, I'm new here. And then, you know, she just did everything to not look at me. And then the next day she was there again. So I thought, well, this is probably going to be the day where I meet this girl. And she just did everything she could. It's an LA thing where you just go, actresses do it all the time. Like, oh, when they ask you questions like, Ariana, can I ask you a question? And she'll be, I don't know where I am right now. This girl was doing that and we're bartender chicks at a burger place in Torrance. Like, you're going to have to talk to me, girl. Come on. So that was weird. And then on the day that I actually had to talk to her because I had to shadow her, which is follow her around, she finally talked to me and she was a real snot, just like I thought she was going to be. So yeah, she told me like, yeah, you know, do these dishes and la 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 and, you know, clear tables. And so, yeah, I was like kind of doing that. And then I took some orders and then did some other stuff and like, you know, ran some food or whatever. And in that time I saw her screaming at this girl who was like a sister, you know, and she's screaming at her. And I was like, oh my God, she's a manager. I didn't know that. I thought she was just a bartender. And so I asked the other server chick, I was like, hey, is she a manager? You know? And she's like, no. She's like, she got hired a month ago. She bartends and serves like the rest of us. And I was like, wow. Does she know that you don't yell at anyone like that? Like when you're new at a bar, like that's crazy. She's like, I know, she's crazy. You know, I was like, oh, great. And I get to shadow her tonight. That's awesome, you know? And when I saw her yelling at the sister, of course she didn't take it. She yelled right back like, who the, oh, and it was like all chaos and crazy. So that was kind of nuts. So they were screaming at each other and that was fun. And then I thought, she's going to do that to me. It's only a matter of time. And it didn't even take that much time. It was like a half hour later. About the dishes she told me to do. She was like, I told you to do these dishes, you know? And I was like, it wasn't a half hour later. It was like 15 minutes. I was like, yeah, that's the thing. I cleared tables and I got some drinks and yeah, I'm going to do them. There's nobody here. Like, chill out, dude. And then I was about to say like, what is your problem? But I held my tongue because, you know, I'm not going to just start flipping out on this girl yet. Cut to a half hour later, she asked me to cut an orange. So I went to the back and I asked the guy for a knife and he just took the orange from me and cut it himself, which I didn't want him to do. I wanted to cut it because bartenders have a way of cutting fruit. And so she gets the fruit and she was just like, did you cut this? And I was like, no, actually the guy took it right out of my hands and I'm sorry. It's not the way they're more cut like pretty garnishes, not like garnishes that you use to squeeze. And she's like, it's wrong. I'm like, I get that, but the guy took it out of my hand, so I just let him do it, And she's like, well, it's wrong. And I'm like, I was like, are you a manager here? She's like, no, I'm head bartender. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. You're the problem. You're the problem. That's not how you talk to people. Even if you are a manager, you just don't talk to people like that. That's just not what you do here. I don't know how long you've lived in the United States, but we don't talk to each other here, dude. That's why she flipped out on you. Did you see the way she screamed at you? I did. You don't do that, And then she did one of these, like, come here, I want to talk to you. Like, let's go in the back. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere with you. There's a manager back there. If you want to talk to her about how terrible I am, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to tell her that you're awful. Okay, so let's just teach me about the register, teach me about how things go here. You don't have to teach me about bartending and washing dishes. I know how to do all that. I've been doing it for decades, probably longer than you. Okay, so my days are numbered here, like it was kind of crazy. The other manager was like, what happened the other night? And I went into it. I was just like, she's crazy. And she was screaming at the other girl. And then she's like, well, I was told you got in the middle. I'm like, I didn't get in the middle. They were fighting and I told her she was wrong. I wasn't in the middle of it. I just told her she was being a jerk. And that's not how you talk to people. It's so weird how people like create their own stories about stuff. It's nuts. So there was that. And then the day that I was on my own, the days that I actually trained there were all dead. So I never really learned like the drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, side note, drop down, with the toe system, which I could barely see without my readers. That day that I was on my own, 2 other servers called out. So I was by myself. We had 3 managers and an owner. Nobody stepped up. Nobody came in to take up for the fact that there was only one server on the floor and it was me. And there was one bartender behind the bar. It should have been me. They should have put me as the bartender because that's what I know and that's what I was training more on rather than the floor. But this girl wanted to be the bartender. She didn't care about how the night was going to go with this, blind girl that barely knows the system because it's never busy because the state is on fire. So, what happened is exactly what you think. It's Murphy's Law. I got super slammed. The door just kept swinging open, swinging open, swinging open, swinging open. Table of 6, table of 8, table of 4, table 2, table 2, table 2. All me by myself. No managers to help me. No owner to help me. Bitchy bartender not helping me. And I don't blame her for that, but she was kind of a bitch too, So me on my own. And that when I would get frozen, because sometimes with the POS system, it would just freeze if I clicked something wrong and then I couldn't get unstuck. And so that's what really blocks you when you have more and more tables coming in and you got to get these orders in. Oh, it was terrible. And then when I was in the kitchen, the burgers kept flying out and the kitchen manager, he was like an OG, like Latino guy with the droopy eyes. He just kind of has the droopy eyes. He's just throwing up the burgers like, ew. And all the burgers look the same because I get busy, but not like that busy because it just hasn't been that busy. And then we got to-go orders coming in and we got Grubhub orders coming in, or delivery and Grubhub. It was like both kind of coming in as well. I was like, oh my God, and there's no one there to help me. And the bartender's like, what's the matter? Like, why don't you get it? I'm like, because I was never busy enough to learn because the state's on fire and no one's going out after Christmas. I have my excuses and they're pretty good, and I'm blind. And all the burgers look the same and I didn't want to touch them too much because, you touch them too much because most people just, if you're 20 and you just look at a burger like, oh, it's just that I can see. But when you're in your 40s, you really got to open them up and really finger them and everything to see. And it was a nightmare. So I text the manager at the time and I just said, hey, this is my last shift. I can't work here. I'm on my own. There's no one here to help me. We're slammed and all the other reasons that I just explained to you guys. So that's, it was humbling for me because I thought it could be cool to do the server bartender thing. You burn more calories when you're like running around doing tables and doing all that extra stuff besides just being behind the bar slinging drinks to people that are watching the game and stuff. it was humbling, and I just thought to myself, no, let's on to the next. These girls are kind of bitchy, and we're gonna the next place we work won't serve food. Okay, that was like, okay, let's just do that. And the next place didn't serve food, but it had its own batch of issues, and I'll get into that with the next video. Why don't you click on that one next? I didn't make it yet, but I'm gonna make that video. The next video is gonna be the next video. This is Go See Gail. Subscribe. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna get quicker, and these stories are going to get shorter. This is just leading up to where I am now, and that's where I'm at. So thanks for watching, and subscribe, share. People that do the serving thing and the bartending thing. Show these videos to them. Okay? I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.